Welcome back, everybody, to Champions League. We've got a fun match tonight. I am your caster, Shadow Dweller. Joined alongside me is K-Vox. K-Vox, how you doing tonight?
Oh, it's a beautiful night to be a Rocket League fan, and so shortly after an incredible CRL tournament finale. Congratulations to our spring champions, Maryville, who I just hope they made their flight, because that grand final was insanity. And speaking of insanity, we've got some incredible Rocket League lined up for everyone tonight, don't we, Shadow? Tell the good people a little about it.
Oh, it's going to be an interesting one. Both of these teams trend around 14 to 15 in power rankings, but this is the interesting thing, ladies and gentlemen, is normally the rankings committee is pretty one-sided. The biggest split we've seen is 7 to 2 in terms of who will win a series. It's 6 to 5 in favor of BDG. This one is so heavily debated, but the agreed upon premise is this is going to 5. And it should be a great series. I think also in a Gaia division that looks a lot weaker than people expect, this is an important matchup to win early on. We can take a quick look at the weekly matchups as we are at our last of the week. And this one should be an absolute banger. Taking a look, we've had some surprising results and some not surprising results. But ladies and gentlemen, we are good to go. We have our players in the lobby, always ready to go. And one of the most fun storylines here tonight, Cup Nuts versus Jetwind. Cup Nuts and Jetwind were teammates on a championship winning roster over at ZBF. And speaking of rosters, we got a little bit of an update. Visions is out tonight. They've got Zeka as emergency sub. And funny enough, with Zeka being the emergency sub, they can field Wilhelm, Big Dub Gaming and Jetwind, when normally one of those two are the subs. So it's quite the interesting scenario, as that is a tip down field and a half. But Zeka, making his first appearance since playing with Most Hated, will try to prove here that he belongs on a roster.
And there's nothing like playing Rocket League with a chip on your shoulder, as we all know. We've all been the one who got trash talked by a teammate in the lobby, or we're the teammate who did the trash talking. But that is going to be First Blood Cub Nuts being the offensive engine once again. Walk us through this a little, Shadow.
I mean, he just beats him. Defense caught off foot. And that's the thing is, for BDG, they don't play with this roster. I mean, Zeka's an emergency sub, and again, it's usually Aiden Rowan and Visions playing. So this is quite the scenario. We don't really see it a lot, but White Fang, the new 200 on the block, is opening the scoring yet again. Right when you thought the wound would be closed, he opens it right back up.
That's why you stay with the ball. White Fang stays in contact and is able to double tap it past two defenders. He and Cub Nuts have incredible synergy thus far in Champions League. And Zika almost gets one in to put the board on. The double attack comes out. Jetwood coming. This is going to be a third one. And this is something to watch out for with this team, because what they like to do is play very continuing Rocket League. You'll see this coming from BDG a lot during the course of this game. They are going to be trying to get balls connected. They're going to try to transition out of the midfield very quickly, get on the attack very quickly. They don't want to be individually booming it down to the end of the pitch. They'll go 1, 2, 3, bang, 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 as long as their boost holds up, because this might be one of the most boost-hungry teams around.
Yeah, and ladies and gentlemen, predictions are live. I mean, it's coming in a little late, but if you want to bet your channel points, make sure to go and bet them on who you think is going to win. Right now, Tier 1 look good early on, but BDG, obviously, I mean, they're playing in an uncomfortable situation, so I expect that's going to take a little bit of time for them to really heat up in this series. But as this goes on, they should get better and better.
Right now, Cubnuts tries to get in, can't quite get there. Jetwind is doing a good job shadowing the offense, but right now White Fang makes a save, tries to take it past Zeka, can't get it past the other opponents. Can't get it past Jetwind. I'm sorry, I'm getting back used to this. Been out of the game for a minute, everybody. Right now, Zeka gets to the ball. He's trying to get it to Jetwind. Jetwind goes the wrong way. Zeka brings it up, gets it past one, can't carry it forward, goes into the corner. Got a bit of a scrum building. White Fang's going, loses the ball. Right now, going up, 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 not away, too wide.
Yeah, right now we see BDG starting to swarm, and they kept it close with Lag last week, who are an agreed upon top 10 team. Meanwhile, Tier 1 did drop a game to Galactic, but I feel like Galactic are maybe a little bit sneakier better than we thought, but Wilhelm will take this off that title. I call him Wilhelm. It says Big Dub Gaming, but his name is Wilhelm. He is founding a league as well that Champions League will be supporting. We're excited for when he gets that up and going. As Tragic takes this on the reset, he is the highest rated player in the lobby, so you're going to have to be careful of him constantly.
Yeah, right now he's not quite able to get it past Tier 1. Cubnut tries to stop the shot up. Zeka tries to send it down. Gets it in! That is just a beautiful goal, Shadow. Bounces it off a defender. Stalks it the rest of the way. Look at this little flip to get it past a second defender straight on in. You're really seeing Zeka try to prove that Most Hated shouldn't have dropped him.
Yeah, and as this one goes on, I mean, it's enough time. The good news is there's a minute and 20 left. The bad news is there's a minute and 20 left. You're going to start running thin on time, and you need to get this one to the middle, as this one's going to be faked out. Second with the shot low. Couldn't get it to go. White Fang blocked it. Not good enough. Everyone's going to crash the net, and no one's going to walk away unscathed, as this one stays at 2-1.
White Fang's looking for his opening. Zeka gets it by him, booms it far. Jetwing's following on along. Not really going to get a good angle on it, not even with Big Dub. Big Dub Gaming himself following in. Bounces it off the board. Zeka's not going to be able to get there. Jetwin takes a demo for his trouble. And what you're going to see here is Tier 1 trying to break up the passing chain, break up the coordination. White Fang tries to follow it up. Zeka brings it too far away. 30 seconds is a long time in Rocket League, Shadow. This could get out of hand fast.
Yeah, definitely could be. And with 15 seconds left, I mean, BDG are just looking the wrong way. They don't really have the boost, don't really have the ball, as Tragic's going to take it off of them. And this one should hit the ground pretty soon, as Cubnuts versus Jetwind, the two former teammates, not going to be able to get the best of your Jetwind. And this one trending close to the ground. Jetwind keeps it up, looks for a flick. Tragic puts it back down, but BDG flipped it high, and Zeka will make the catch here.
Oh.
Nope. Tier 1 take the game.
You really could see what Zeka was hoping for there. He was hoping to take it up that wall and get a bit of an air dribble going. He's putting in my bads down in chat, and that really stings when you see the ball right there and you know it's on you to keep the game going, and you just watch it hit the pitch. We've all been there. I think anyone who's watched a set of volleyball has too. And it's going to be about how they adjust. It's going to be how Zeka, Big Dub, and Jetwin get their heads back in the game. And I'm really curious to see how Jetwin's going to adjust to his former teammate. What do you think, Shadow?
I think that, I mean, honestly, BDG started to bring it back, and then it just didn't really turn out the way they wanted it to. I think Zeka, yes, he had the goal, but I'm especially looking at him to step up more to really match the pace of Tier 1, and I think it's a lot on Jetwind as well.
Absolutely. Jetwind has historically been one of the big attacking engines of BDG. BDG. You saw that in their previous match a lot. So he might be feeling a lot of pressure to continue being the main source of offense, especially against someone like Cupnuts, who is a Season 1 winner. He went to a Grand Finals with Jetwind in another league, and they've got everyone else. White Fang is an incredible attacker, especially working in tandem with Cubnuts, and BDG has that passing synergy when they're in good form. We'll see if that first game was enough to wake them up. Welcome back to Champions League, everybody. Zik is already on the ball.
And what you need is a good early start for the side of BDG. You need to really start strong here, as Cubnuts will try to dribble it through, and this man went off last week. He was third in Player of the Week voting, but Tragic will try to take this across. No, it's going to be a whifty as White Fang will take the shot, but it's not going to be able to get towards the net, but this one could be a double tap from Cub, but it's going to be blocked away. Jetwind keeping it in the corner. Tragic throws it to the back wall. Awkward times for BDG on this back line, but it'll eventually be cleared out. White Fang follow through, cannot get the double to go.
You can see BDG working on their spacing. In the previous week, they had a lot of issues with players colliding into each other. You saw that with Aiden and Vision a lot too, and neither of them are present on the pitch at the moment, which is coincidental, I promise. Nobody got demoed in real life. But this is going to be a heck of an effort from Tier 1, getting it past this defensive line. Look at Jetwind already shadowing, already waiting to see where the ball goes. He picks up the ball immediately upon landing. Cubnuts has to stretch a little, gets the ball airborne, cannot get it past Sika. Sika wins the 50-50, tries to set it up for Big Dub himself, but Big Dub doesn't have a shot. Gets a demo for the trouble, and right now that's an open net. It's open, it's in! Sika with first blood.
And that is exactly what you want to see. This team playing without two of their starters is starting to work as a team, and that's exactly what you have to think about, is the fact that, BDG are playing without two of their starters as just the two mid-ranks, which normally sub for each other, and Jetman gets the pickpocket at the midfield, and it's 2-0.
That's the exact kind of reason teams have to be afraid of Jetwind. Look at this placing. He perfectly reads that dribble attempt and just knocks it off the hood of the car straight into goal. There's nothing you can really do about that except hope it doesn't happen again.
Yeah, and let me explain this again for those just coming in. BDG are playing with Zeka as an emergency sub, but here's the special scenario. Normally the roster is the 278 Visions, 225 Jetwind, and 200 Aiden Rowan with TTV Big Dub Gaming as a sub at 215. But because of the fact that Zeka is the emergency sub, they can field this with both of their middle range guys. We've never seen a strategy like this come out before. I wonder if Aiden also couldn't make it, or if this is fully intentional, but it's how it is. You get both of your mid-range guys who normally suffer each other playing, definitely creating quite the perplexing situation, but so far in game 2 it is working out.
Right now you're starting to see Tier 1 get a feel for how BDG and Jetwind especially like to move the ball. You see them disrupting a lot of these passing attempts, especially the attempt to connect Jetwind and BDG himself, the Big Dub of Big Dubs. Jetwind sends it down the pitch, can't get it past White Fang. White Fang goes around the corner. Right now it's Zika versus a defender. Zika carries it out towards midfield. He's carrying it towards the corner, tries to bring it up, gets it past Tragic, gets it off the backboard, too wide, no angle for Big Dub Gaming himself. Jetwind is airborne. That's going dangerously close to blue goal. That's going towards BDG's territory. Right now, White Fang can't get it past, gets it past Big Dub. Pinches it between Jetwing and Big Dub. That certain goal goes by. Jetwind has another awkward angle. That's high again, Shadow.
And this one is just so dangerous in front of the net right now. Zeka looks for a double tap, but it's going to be blocked away. And Big Dub Gaming went by on a whip. But Fang is turning on a dime and keeps it away. This 200 has been so impressive so far in its first 2 weeks in CL. A late addition to this Tier 1 team. You think back, they had their draft plan and they ended up rebuilding 2/3 of the roster as Jetwind will flick this one through and make the lead 3.
Oh my goodness, that just shoots right past, that goes right past Tragic and Cubnuts. They both try at different points to intercept that dribble, and Jetwind carries it through like this is just Bacchus mod training. R.I.P. Bacchus mod.
Yeah, and this one is going to be yet another goal. Big Dub Gaming puts it home for his organization. And shout out to him. I don't know if he's co-streaming tonight from his POV. I will search it up real quick, but he is an absolutely wonderful member of the community. He is not streaming his POV, but you guys should definitely go throw him a follow. And as this series goes on, Tier 1 going into Game 3 are going to have a lot to talk about.
Yeah, definitely a lot of debriefing, including that thunderous shot to finally put Tier 1 on the board. Big Dub Gaming's trying to set up a pass to Jetwind there. That's what I was telling you about before we started. These passing plays sometimes miss a connector and give the opposing team all the room they need to counter. And now Jetwind is hoping that Tier 1 does not get enough momentum to make that happen 3 more times. I have seen 3 goals in 30 seconds.
Yeah, but I think it's really unlikely here considering how the offense has gone for Tier 1, and that's going to be a goal eventually, but a few more seconds shaved off the clock than you would have liked, but Tier 1 starting to surge late.
What you saw there was the defensive shape collapsing and also lack of boost management. All 3 BDG players, they weren't completely out of boost, but they had very little to make those awkward turns that they would have needed to contest that shot. And that's a wide open net, but a little too high. Zika at the nick of time. Big Dub Gaming gets a key demo. Let's see if they can convert this into offensive momentum. Let's see if they can close the door in these 8 seconds. 7, 6, so on, Shadow.
Yeah, and now, I mean, if you're Tier 1, what do you need to do differently here, K-Vox? What do they need to do to secure a win in this next game?
Right now, they were onto something in that latter end of the game. You saw that BDG's transition offense really started to fall apart a bit, started to falter. People were getting demoed. People weren't making passes. What they have to do, especially, I think, is keep Jetwind and Zika from getting comfortable. Keep them from connecting easily because a lot has been made of these poor passes because the passes themselves aren't bad ideas. What's happening is that no one is there to get the pass. And if you send out an absolute beauty of a pass down infield, down the pitch, and no one's there to pick it up, did you really even pass at all?
That is true. And now, as I get back into Game 3, what do Tier 1 have cooking? Cupnuts is one of the best players in the history of Champions League, as he has put together multiple rosters that go far. I mean, if you weren't around for Season 2, this man's skill tree was insane. He had a ton of players on his roster throughout the season. They placed 8th, 3rd, well, most of his roster placed 3rd because that's where they finished. But along with that, he had players that placed 8th and then 1st. This man is a great scout, and he knows that this is the team to take him to the promised land. But first, they have to get past BDG.
And that is much easier said than done. BDG doing a quick transition back onto offense. That is a long clear Cubnuts pulls off. Zika intercepts. He gets it past White Fang too. Can't quite get it by Tragic, who's trying his best. Gets into a brief 2-on-1 with BDG. He comes out on the bad end of it. That's going in. That's going in! Cubnuts! Whoa! Shadow is struck numb by this. Struck wordless, so am
Oh,
I. Just to
I'm
go
doing admin stuff.
doing admin stuff, struck numb by the incredible goal. Either way, that could have been a kickoff goal. Bit of an awkward meeting of the two tier 1 players. That is going to come up though. Tragic trying to get it by Jetwind. Can't quite manage it. To Zika. Back to Jetwind. Going up high. Big Dub trying to angle himself. That's a wide open net. And that's why you have to make sure there's a third man back, everybody. Look at this again. Cubnuts sends it right over Big Dub himself. And Zika also doesn't have any boots to contest it.
Yeah, and for this one going on now, I mean, we saw BDG strike back in that game too, emphatically. It felt like we were saying, hey, they really turned it around and were looking so good. But now, I mean, tier 1 are building on the momentum that they ended game 2 with. As this one, they try to get to the net. Cupnuts trying to 50 it through Jetwind. Will get it through, but the follow-up's not going to be there as everyone was overcommitted. Tragic does cut back in order to shut this one down, but with 3 minutes left to go, BDG just really haven't found much offensively. They only have a shot.
They only have one shot. Sometimes that's all you need. Look at this. Gets it off the ball into Jetwind's pocket. That's a 3-car attack, and it puts them on the board with plenty of time to equalize. Knocks it down. Jetwind sees the opening because Tragic is already busy dealing with his 2 teammates. Big Dub and Zika were already there occupying his full attention. And there's a lot of time left, Shadow.
Yeah, there is a lot of time left in order to turn this one around, but is there enough defense left? Yes, there is. Zeka gets it through, but Zeka put it over to the corner. I don't think he realized the net was wide open, and that could have been a good opportunity. This one still is as it's hanging around. Zeka gonna cut in front, trying to get it towards the net. Wilhelm got it! Big Dub Gaming scores for his org as this one is tied 2-2.
What did I tell you? Plenty of time, and both of his teammates there to make sure it gets in, just in case of any shenanigans. You just saw Tier 1's defensive shape collapse there, Shadow. How do you think they can prevent that again?
I think they need to make sure that they are communicating. Big thing I see in this league a lot is comms breaking down as everyone starts panicking. And speaking of panicking, there we go. Big Dub Gaming will score yet again as Jetwin gets a good pass and Cubnuts just rush that one a little bit.
Yeah, that's exactly how they get scary, Big Dub, because they do these chain attacks. It's never just one car when they're in their group. It's all 3 of them. Bang, bang, bang. That's what you saw as they put themselves up ahead, trying to keep themselves from tying up, trying to keep the equalizer from happening. Zika meeting 2 of Tier 1, loses the ball to White Fang, tries to follow it up. That's an aerial collision. Not gonna eventuate into a solid attack. Zika gets it cleared a little, hands it to Jetwind. What do you think they're going to be able to cook up, Shadow?
I mean, I think we're seeing BDG heat up in the kitchen, and they aren't even doing it through passing plays or anything like that. They're just capitalizing off of the Tier 1 mistakes. I really need to see some better defensive rotations come in as this one, the Cubnuts has to dive in front of it to get it away, and he does, but Big Dub Gaming is going to quickly be there for the follow-up as Cub is interfered with. He gets the block away. Jetwind going to turn and burn on this one. He's going to make the catch, try to flick it through 1, gets it past 2, but it's over to that sidewall. Tragic completely with the ball, though, but Zeka wasn't ready for it.
Yeah, that's heading back down to Big Dub and Jetwind. Can they get it by? Tragic gets it up, not quite able to turn it into an attacking angle. Now all 3 of them are back on the offense. Nuts did it again! Look at that wide open angle. Oh my goodness. Just squares up, steals it off of Jetwind as he's trying to bring it down, and there's nobody even near rotating back in time to get that. None of them even have the boost to try.
and this is where just that inexperience as a team kind of comes in, and rotations and comms just break down a little bit as White Fang will send this one across. Now he's gonna go through the air, but it's right back down near the defense, and with a minute left in this one, it feels like overtime is looming, but both of these teams do not want it to go there.
Yeah, and it's not gonna happen. Zika throws it over a defender's head clean. Look at this. He steals it from midair. He follows it down. He sees that White Fang is not in a good position to jump for the ball, so he flicks it over him instead of trying to muscle it back or pass it back to his team. And now there's almost a full minute of Rocket League left to play. At this rate, with the way these defensive rotations have shaped up, I would not be surprised if Tier 1 equalizes, but oh my goodness, are BDG warming up.
And there goes Tier 1. Two members went. Tragic going to be the last one back as the passes over to the middle. Jetwind gets good. And a Big Dub Gaming take a 2-goal lead, and they are in prime position to go up 2-1 here.
That is perfect, especially because you saw that right there. Big Dub Gaming doesn't just send in the infield pass. He personally removes the defender. If you can't beat him, delete him.
I gotta agree with you on that one. Tragic will take this off the back wall, looking for anything, but he's got to get going, and he's got to get going quickly. He picks up a demo, but Zeka is quickly there for the follow-up, and Cubnuts will shoot this down. It feels like this one has to be in. Zeka double taps it. That's not where you want to put it, though, as Cubnuts will score his fourth, and Tier 1 are still in this.
That's what happens when Boost is running so dry, because Zeka already jumped to defend. Jetwind has it coming in from behind him and is only a little boost himself, so jumping straight backwards like that to make a save is incredibly difficult with how ball cam swings around. I can't blame him for ending up flipping instead.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you, but as the clock ticks down now, this one will end and BDG go up 1 in the series and move to match point.
Already match point. Time flies when you're having fun, Shadow, and look at these rankings. I mean, we are talking a lot about Zika because, understandably, they get the new guy coming in, emergency sub, wants to prove himself, wants to show what he can do, dropped from a team, but this is a team effort. Look at all the shots ringing out there. That is 9 shots across all of them. That is 5 goals. That is a lot of everything else. These guys are just really warming up well.
Yeah, and I mean, everyone in the rankings committee said this would be a really close one because both of these teams are sitting around 14 to 15 in the power rankings, and it was really split as well. And I mean, BDG are proven they are more legitimate than people naturally thought, but the thing is, this is a completely different BDG roster than normal. I will say, if Tier 1 were doing their scouting, they were definitely not prepared for this one, and I think it's just kind of showing here that they were a little bit underprepared.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They were clearly banking on Aiden and Vision being here, and you can tell from a lot of how they're approaching this. Jetwind carries it along, loses the ball, it transitions quickly. Cubnuts loses the ball again though. That's going into their corner. Only Big Dub is going after it. White Fang's watching, see what he does. Jetwind is demoed. He was setting himself up for team play, no chance there. Big Dub carries it down, loses the ball again. Quick transition, 2-on-1. Cubnuts in the flank to watch out for it. Tragic circles around. Does he have a touch? He doesn't. Not quite.
Yeah, and as this game goes on, you can feel the pressure these players are under, especially on the Tier 1 side, considering the fact that they are down 1 in the series. And this one is just sent back down the field. And it's been some boomer ball for a lot of points throughout this game, but we've seen a lot of offensive production as the demo comes through, and White Fang takes the lead.
Absolutely beautiful team play. You see Cubnuts send it up as White Fang leaps up for it, and then also does the demo to remove the defender. They keep going back to this play, and it keeps working, Shadow.
really does. And I mean, if you're BDG, uh, another game where you dropped the early goal, and we've seen them come back, but it still just kind of puts that pressure on. What do they really need to do to tie this one? Who are you looking at?
Right now, I'm looking at Jetwind, especially when he combines with Zika, but look at this block. Look at how Zika gets up there, because Zika attacks very quickly, he's quite mechanical, and Jetwind is very good at setting up team plays. Look at this demo he does. Double demo to clear the pitch. Right now, the respawn comes in at a bad time for him, but it was a wonderful thought. That was about to create a deadly scoring opportunity. Zika gets it up along the wall. Doesn't quite manage to set up a goal, though. No clear shot. Can Jetwind get it by? No! Tragic is up! The big dog himself, Big Dub Gaming, tries to carry the ball past, loses it to Tragic again. Does he? No, he gets it over him. Cubnuts is there instead, though. This is really, you're seeing Tier 1 bring their forces together. They are cohering into a dense three-car shape when they're on offense and defense. And you will see if that works out. White Fang has the net. He has a look. He doesn't get it. Big Dub Gaming with the save.
Cubnuts with the follow through will double the lead. A beautiful save came out, but a triple commit came with it, and Zeka and Jetwind were caught going the wrong way.
Shout out to, I don't think many things feel worse in Rocket League than when you get a save, especially off a strong attack like that, and then the other team gets a goal anyway, like immediately. You can see White Fang playing with a little more vinegar in his veins as he clears that off and tries to bring it down towards the net. Oh my goodness, look at that clear, but Big Dog Gaming, Big Dub Gaming, I keep calling him the Big Dog because he eats like a Rottweiler when he gets in that playing mood. Oh my goodness, that's almost in. Tragic gets in right in the nick of time. He's carrying it. Can he carry it on towards the net? That's a good look, but not enough to get past Big Dub. Cubnuts up in the air. Can't get a shot. Can't find an angle. That's a three-car attack from BDG. All right, Big Dub circles back. He looks for more boost. Zeka misses. Jetwind's looking for his angle. I don't think he can find it, Shadow.
That one was close to being a third, but the clock is ticking down, and I don't really know what Big Dub Gaming need to do here. They just really haven't found much offense altogether, and if things continue the way they have, we're going to be staring down a Champions Field.
Yeah, and honestly, as a Rocket League fan, I'm all for it, but I know these guys want to wrap this up sooner than later, if at all possible. Zika tries to create an opportunity. This is not going to build up. Jetwind gets the ball into the corner. That's no one really in custody of that one. Tragic sends it on. Big Dub's ready with the intercept. Gets it past one. Can he get it past two? That's no man's ball in no man's land. Bounces it off the corner to Zika. It's in! Another team attack puts them on the board with a minute to spare and keeps them in the series.
And that is a powerful shot, 69 miles per hour. It was a nice one, all right. But the thing is now, the good news, you have a minute left. The bad news, you have a minute left. You need to get going quickly with the little bit of time you have left, as Tragic's very awkward on the ball here. White Fang going over the top, not going to be able to get it as Big Dub Gaming will get the corner boost. Trying to starve out Tier 1 here, but a miscommunication comes through. Zeka has to make it touch. White Fang just clears. They're looking to stall this clock out as White Fang puts it high, but Zeka's quickly there for the follow-up.
I think we've all been in a ranked game where we are just desperately playing keep away for the last minute or so you can really feel what Tier 1 is thinking right now as Big Dub Gaming tries to get by. Can't get it. Long infield boom that ends up under Tragic's wheels. He's facing all three of BDG. He's facing all three of them. He gets it off the wall. Cubnuts close behind. Gets it by Zika. Big Dub and Jetwind are there. 10 seconds left to see if this can become anything. And that ball does not kill the play until it touches ground. There is, in theory, time for BDG to make something happen here, but it's not going to be today. We're going into a Game 5, everybody.
Champions Field awaits, and it's the best place to be. And everyone on the rankings committee thought this was going to 5, and sure enough, Destiny has called. But I will unfortunately have to dip out, so we will have Ufin taking over to close it. But,
Oh,
ladies
wow.
and gentlemen, we're about to have a very competitive Game 5 coming up. I cannot wait to see who is going to win this one.
Well, don't worry, Shadow. Between Ufin and I, the game is in good hands. This is going to be an incredible ending to the series. And you know me, I'm a big Rocket League lover. We all are, or why are we up at 10 p.m. watching Carball, right? So, more Rocket League, more better, in my opinion.
Now on air. Exactly, and as we head into this final game here on Champions Field, my expectations are high as anyone else's. This is going to be just a complete barn burner here tonight as our players join the field up. Now, any expectations here, Vax? Do you see any player popping off immensely in this final game?
So far, I'm not a betting man, and I'm starting to think that's for the best, but it's hard to discount the synergy between Zika and Jetwind right now. They're both so great at creating opportunities for BDG. Right now, we've already got the kickoff. Big Dub sends it up. There's no one to receive that ball, though. Zika's in the midfield, loses the ball. Tragic comes up for it. This is going to go up into the air. Cubnuts gets the demo. That's right in front of Tier 1's net. Not going to go in. That's going to be from Big Dub. Up into the air. Jetwind's close behind it. Zika's shadowing it, trying to get it by. Gets it up into the air, loses it. That's not coming down. That's coming down for Jetwind. He's already got on the defense. Already Big Dub's waiting for it. So is Jetwind. No angle of shot. Cubnuts finds a way!
And Cubnuts finds the way yet again here, folks. This man is just a menace. He opened this series with a goal, and he might dang well end it here in this final game 5 on Champions Field 4. 27 left to go. Kick off here, White Fang putting into the corner for Zika. Zika up over Cubnuts, doesn't get the flip piece there. Cubnuts able to take off him. Tragic now, a pop-up, Big Dub Gaming. Zika takes it again. Tragic on the wall now. White Fang, maybe a serve up here, up mid. Jetwind into the corner back again. Tragic lurking there, close behind. Big Dub Gaming again, send out mid. Cubnuts unable to corral. Zika there with the save. Big Dub Gaming able to follow. Pops up high, almost into the ceiling. Zika again. Pop high. They're playing airball at this point. It's just a big send after big send, nothing really landing on target. I need to see them improve those shots here in the coming minutes.
Yeah, that's exactly what they are trying to do, especially BDG, who likes to do these chain attacks where one touch creates the next, creates the next, but they're not finding very many good opportunities. White Fangs onto the wall, that is going in! Zika finishes the job! This is going to be incredible. White Fang comes up to challenge, but Zika's already there along the corner and chases his own ball down. Everyone else has been driven further ahead to deal with the rest of BDG. So there's no one really there to contest when he just sidles on and knocks it in.
Exactly, I mean, this has been the strategy of Big Dub Gaming the entire night, just discombobulating the entirety of Tier 1's defense. As we see here, Cubnuts the only one left back in an awkward position here. Zika with a beautifully placed shot, bottom left corner, and it just keeps on giving and coming there from the blue side of Big Dub Gaming.
That's got to stick in Cubnuts' craw a bit, because you saw in that replay that he was a matter of inches from getting that ball, getting that save. If he'd rotated a little to his right, this would be an entirely different ball game right now. Right now, White Fang tries to come in, misses his chance. That's going long, that's going long. Cry for Tragic. He's going up, he's finding the ball, he's looking for it. Can he get it by all three of these attackers? Can he get it by the 3-column press? Right now, it's going down. Big Dub Gaming takes a bit of a bump. That's going infield. No one's there to receive it, though. And right now, looks like it's not getting past Zika. Zika carries it all along. Tragic bumps it back right there for Big Dub, but Tragic's going by. Loses the 2-on-1. That's going for Zika again. He's carrying it along the wall. White Fang has an opening. He gets the goal, and that's going in. Wow, that was such a good goal. It discombobulated my own vocal cords. But that is exactly the danger of carrying it in so sharply in field like that. White Fang wasn't screened at all. There was no one blocking his approach.
again, these like defensive situations here for both teams are suboptimal. I think maybe a lack of communication happening there in their respective booths on the playing field, as we have a demo here from Jetwin, maybe even pushing it forward, and another bump here from Big Up Gaming. The ball dangerously left there, but a double commit there from Cabinets and White Fang getting the ball salvaged out in the midfield. Again, as I was saying, the defensive positions here for both of these teams are just not clicking tonight, but it's, you know, not a big deal for us, for the spectators, for the people watching in chat, as we get the scoring bonanza that these games have been. Hopefully we get to see this game go to an overtime, because an overtime in such a tight series, in such a difficult to predict series, that would be just a perfect closeout, don't you think?
I am always in the mood for more Rocket League, and nothing's much more dramatic than a final game overtime. But White Fang almost prevents that from happening. Zika with a narrow save. Right now, that's going to Cubnuts. He's carrying it by, loses it to Big Dub. Jetwin can't quite get a good angle on that jump, so not really going to be able to make an attack happen. He's trying to build something. Goes straight to White Fang, though. White Fang's pursuing it. Big Dub saves it. Gets it over. That gets it over White Fang, loses it to Cubnuts. That's going up. That's going up. Not quite deep enough. That could have been 3, my friend. That was almost a very scary moment for Big Dub.
I mean, Jetwin just getting it with his spoiler at that point, maybe even a boost trail caught a bit of that ball, as it didn't go in there on the double commit on the defensive side of BDG. These teams are putting on the show for us tonight, as Jetwin unable to perform on the other end here as well. White Fang pushing it out midfield. Zika controlling, Tragic up for it to contest. The ball's just hanging up, no one really going for it. Jetwin corrals down, Tragic pushes up, Fang left in a vulnerable position here. Midfield, Zika unable to get a nice follow through editable there, but Jetwin redirects into Cubnuts on the defensive there.
Oh, that is beautiful. Thank goodness we have replays, my friend, because I need to see again how this even happened. Look at this little teardrop. It goes up, it draws both of the defenders upwards, but it still goes right past their cars. What do you think happened there? A late jump?
Oh, late jump, maybe just a delay in the actual response of someone's controller. Anything could have happened there, but that shot from Zika was just perfect, no matter the defenseman. Maybe even Squishy Muffins himself would not be able to close that one out of the net there, as Zika just placed it perfectly now. 20 seconds down, winding down in the final minute of the final game. Maybe we'll see a resurgence here from Tier 1 as they have in the prior games. White Fang missing that one, Zika with a layup now. Cabinets deleted by Big Up Gaming, restarted with 33 boosts, back the hard way, and then the deletion from Big Up Gaming, almost getting a final one to put them in the showers with, but Big Up Gaming takes Game 5 and takes the series 3-2 on Champions Field.
Oh my goodness, and I know it must feel incredible to be Zika right now. He came in as the emergency sub with plenty to prove after parting ways with Most Hated, and here he is, leading the charge for BDG to defeat Tier 1. Jetwin triumphing over his old teammate in Cubnuts. What a series! We have to get these people in and see what they're thinking. But before we do that, what are your thoughts on this incredible night of Rocket League?
I mean, watching it from the production booth for the first few minutes, I was just astonished by both teams doing what they do best, and that's just performing on the pitch. You know, those teams, maybe not even really high rated, but genuinely, like, they put their soul into this game. They put everything on the line here, and it is obvious. Let me go ask the players here if they do want to have a little post-game session. If not, we'll move on to rate someone.
All right, while we wait for that, everyone, thank you so much for coming out, watching some late night car ball with all of us. Like I was saying before, wonderful evening for some Rocket League. Hopefully we get a few words from our victors here. Hopefully they're willing to do a few interviews. Right now it's looking like they can. Right now especially, oh my goodness, I don't even know who to start with, but you know, we've got all of VDG feeling like heroes here tonight, Oofin, and I just liked seeing that we're all sending the fans off with a smile.
Oh, definitely. I mean, even Tier 1 fans at this point have to be smiling ear to ear, because they defeated a team that did contend with some high up teams in the power rankings, and I don't think this could be a disappointing experience for anyone watching. Let me just cut all the players into here slowly. I'm getting yeses, many yeses from Big Up Gaming side, but no one yet waiting behind the door of the commentator booth.
Yep. Right now, we're just waiting for them to get into the proper channel so we can drag them in here and get some good thoughts for our listeners, for our audience. Right now, we've got them in the waiting room now. BDG, Zika are coming on in. There is Jetwind as well. Let's bring them on in and see what they've got to say.
That's one, that's a two, and that's a three. Folks, welcome in. Good games to everyone. My first question, and this one is mandatory. Was your team composition today intentional with Vision gone, Aiden gone? Like, was this a plan? Did you just ditch him somewhere, like by the highway in the ditch, or was this like a last resort sort of situation here?
So, yeah, I'll go ahead and answer that. So, Vision actually has been having some PC issues. So, unfortunately, he wasn't like really available. So, he will have his PC up and running on Monday. So, it was kind of like a last minute thing. So that's why we had to initiate the emergency sub. I mean, Vision and Aiden are both here, but we had to make some adjustments. So, and that's what we had to do.
Did you game plan for Tier 1 specifically at all? Were you planning anything in particular for this team?
I mean, realistically, our starting lineup. I mean, we had game plans and stuff like that. We've been watching tape and doing like replays and stuff like that. And
No, we haven't.
yeah,
Sorry, what?
I mean, I try to. I was setting it up. I actually have everything set up because I have a coach. But we've been like with Vision being out with his PC and stuff like that. It's kind of we really couldn't do much this week in order to prep for tier.
Did very well for not having much prep time, if I do say so. How often do you, as a team, work together and practice together? Because a lot of these team plays seem very well coordinated. Are you actively scrimming with other teams or anything?
Well, like I said, since Vision's been out, we haven't been able to. I've actually set it up, but we've unfortunately had to. Yeah, we unfortunately haven't been able to do. Like I've had replay analysis ready and everything like that, but Vision's kind of PC is kind of taking a crap. So once we get him back up and running, then we'll be in full force.
Got that. Now a personal question here for the players. Zika, how did it feel getting that dub here in this tight series? Zika?
Zach?
ZCK?
Sorry, my
Arena?
mom was calling. Telling me something. I'm sorry. Can you repeat it? If you had a question for me, can you repeat it? I'm
yes,
sorry.
I will. My question was just, one to the hardest since Tier 1. How was it winning such a tight, such a difficult to predict series?
I'm not gonna lie, I was so scared. Game 4 and 5. My controller disconnected in Game 4. I don't know if y'all saw, but yeah. My controller just disconnected mid-match.
Oh boy, you recovered very well though, so very impressive that you were able to keep centered in the game. Was the whole situation with Most Hated on your mind at all? Were you coming in here thinking you needed to prove yourself, or was it more like a normal day at the office?
I mean, I didn't want to get drafted to a team for a week and then lose that game and then dip.
Right.
So
that's completely understandable, and you ended up with MVP of the final game, so I'm sure you're feeling very good about yourself right now.
Yeah.
Quite. Jetwind, you as well, fella. You've been just incredible on the field, in especially those two closing games there, Game 4 and Game 5. Any thoughts, feelings, anything you would have done different, maybe?
Maybe just go defensive a little. I mean, I was slightly aggressive. I could have been not as aggressive, and we probably wouldn't have been so close in Game 4. But I feel like I played pretty well. I played as best I can. I had special plans for Cub. That's the big thing, and those plans did go into effect at the last second. So yeah, we're happy about that.
Could you give us a little intel, a little insider info on what those plans were?
Oh, I just love Cub so much, so I had to demo him. I had to give him some friendly little kisses.
Alright, I love that bully ball in action. Well, folks, Vox, if you do have any questions, we might be wrapping up here with the interview allotted time.
Well, we do have one we're always supposed to ask the team. What are your thoughts, feelings, or game plans going into next week? Have you thought about your coming opponents at all?
We haven't looked into that yet, but once we find out who we're playing up against, then we'll make up a game plan.
That makes sense. So thank you very much for your time. Congratulations again on a hard-fought game. And everyone in chat right now, thank you very much for watching the Champions League. 2 hours or so of carball action in an incredible Rocket League weekend. Thank you again. Follow the raid that we're going to throw out, and I'll see you next week.
Thank you, guys. GG's, everyone.
Yeah.
GG.
Your accent is very beautiful.
Thank you, gentlemen. Anyways, boys, thank you again for appearing here. Good GG's on the games, and we'll see you next week.
Yes, sir.
See you next week.
All right.
Everyone.
You.
And of course, peeps, as K-Vox, my co-caster here, has summarized, we're going to be reading out to someone, spreading that good little word of Champions League RL. And yeah, that's going to be it from us, as the week has wrapped up behind us with this one final game on the week gone and done and dusted. If I can move myself into view here, I can. As you can see, folks, the games above us have already transpired. The scores, as Shadow hinted at earlier, some surprising, some not. If you know my history here, you would know that I find at least one score surprising, but that's about it, folks. Now we're actually going to go right out, so you don't have to listen to my incessant yapping here tonight, and we'll see you all next week. Have a good one.